The CEO's wife slipped me a black Amex with an unlimited line of credit, just to keep me from bothering her. My date for the night, a girl I was seeing casually, was mostly into listening. I called up 9 young models from some club and we partied until 1 a.m. That's when the CEO's wife sent me a voice message, asking if I was home. I casually replied, yeah, about to turn in. The woman on the other end immediately demanded a video call. I quickly made up an excuse and said I was undressed. She fired back with a picture. Oh, really? Isn't that a little model next to you who's the one undressed? She wrote. If you even touch her breasts, I'll chop your hands off. I coldly laughed and hung up. What right did an ex-wife have to boss me around? A month ago, my wife's childhood best friend, Thomas Kane, came back into the picture and made a bet with me. He said if my wife, Ashley, left me for him 9 times, I'd forfeit. I agreed, because I wanted to know if Ashley still had feelings for Thomas. As it turned out, I watched her abandon me, time after time, without hesitation, rushing to her first love. Today was the 9th time. After getting a call from Thomas, Ashley was already out the door, saying, Ethan, honey, something came up. I have to go. Can you just grab a ride home from here? Without caring about the heavy rain outside, or the fact that I had a bad stomachache, she didn't even wait for my reply. She just dumped me in the middle of nowhere, leaving me with a rented Ford Focus, and drove off. Seeing her car speed away, my heart twisted. I trudged along the road for hours in the pouring rain, and the worn-out rentals were tearing up my feet and drawing blood. 5 hours later, I finally arrived at the Zen Waters mansion. Clutching my stomach in pain, I collapsed to the ground, struggling to breathe. The rain blurred my vision, but through the misty haze, I saw Thomas Kane walking toward me with an umbrella, smiling. Feeling awful, aren't you? Bet you're regretting signing that bet now, right? Did you really think after all these years, Ashley would have any real feelings for you? You forgot, she loves me most. Whatever little feelings you two have, it means nothing compared to us. I staggered to my feet, pale and with an expression of dead calm. 9th time's the charm. You win. I'll divorce Ashley. I stumbled toward the house, slowly. After I got inside, I took out the divorce papers I'd prepared since day 1 of this bet, signed them, and pushed them in front of Thomas Kane. Take these to her, please. Thomas raised an eyebrow, seeming surprised. Why me? I simply said, I don't want to waste time explaining why I want a divorce. She'll only sign if you give them to her, no questions asked. Hearing this, Thomas smirked, pleased. He took the papers, pretending to offer a word of comfort. Don't be too upset. I'll introduce you to a nice girl in a few weeks. I nodded. Sure. Seeing how quickly I agreed, a flicker of surprise flashed in Thomas's eyes. You're okay with it? You're letting go of Ashley that easily? I gave a soft, bitter chuckle. I only ever loved one train wreck in my life, and it ended like this. I gave her 9 chances, and she lost me completely. If I still can't let go, I'm just pathetic. From now on, I'm only living for myself. Just as I finished speaking, the front door was pushed open. Ashley had come home and was immediately stunned to see Thomas. Thomas? Weren't you just at the hospital? What are you doing here? Thomas, not explaining that he had a sprained ankle, just put on a grin and walked toward Ashley with the papers. Just came to get you to sign something. Ashley's gaze was still fixed on me, not even looking at the documents. She just signed where Thomas pointed, and only then did she remember to ask, "What's this?" Thomas had planned to tell her straight up, but changed his mind. Just a meaningful gift that Ethan and I have been preparing for a month. You'll find out in a month, don't worry. When you see it, you'll definitely be surprised. Hearing this, Ashley rarely showed an intrigued expression. Just as she went to scrutinize the paper, Thomas quickly took the divorce papers from my hands and departed. The next day, at a college reunion, everyone greeted me, Ethan. Why are you here by yourself? Where's Ashley? Is Ashley swamped with work? Before I could even speak, Thomas Kane, sitting in the middle, acted like he was speaking casually, Oh, she had a meeting that went until 11 this morning, and this afternoon she's gotta go work on a business agreement. She definitely won't have the time. Seeing how well he knew Ashley's schedule, everyone largely teased childhood friends just understand each other better, huh? You know each other's schedules better than anyone. Thomas lifted his glass, swirling the contents. Not really, Ashley was the one who called me in the middle of the night to give me a ride home, that's how I found out. You guys still keep in touch a lot. It's a friendship since you were kids, and Ethan's really understanding, too. He knows about Ashley and Thomas's relationship. If Thomas wanted to be with Ashley, they would have been together long ago. Everyone knows Ashley only listens to Thomas, she's absolutely smitten with him. Hearing these words, Thomas's self-satisfaction grew even greater. Yeah, it's funny. I told her to go after Ethan, and she did. Even getting married was something I pushed for. Thought she should give Ethan a title for the relationship. Others think she's going out with Ethan, but it's really me who told her to. My heart pounded. I had thought that Ashley had been touched by my sincerity and willingly agreed to my proposal, but it turned out that even this marriage was the result of Thomas's command. In that moment, I felt like my chest was being crushed, making it hard to breathe. The room was still buzzing with chatter about this. I couldn't take it anymore and got up to go to the bathroom. After calming down a bit, when I came back, everyone had started playing a game, Truth or Dare. Thomas had just lost, so he had to choose truth. Tell us about the most loyal person who chased after you in your life and give an example. As this card was read, my eyelashes trembled slightly, and I averted my eyes. Thomas laughed, recalling, then slowly began, well, there was this girl who started chasing after me when she was only 7 years old. That's been almost 20 years now. When she was still a teenager, she gave me her family's heirloom, saying that she'd only ever love me in her life. Every time she knew I was dating someone, she'd drink and get drunk all night long. Oh, and when I went to study abroad for a few years, she flew over to be with me every week. A violent storm was brewing in my heart. All that time I was wholeheartedly committed to this relationship, he was still chasing after his childhood sweetheart, and I had no idea. My heart ached so much that I couldn't breathe, and the people in the room were all exclaiming with admiration. They kept asking Thomas, who is this person? Do we know her? She's so obsessed with you, you must have been touched by her, right? If you ever end up together, you definitely have to introduce us. Thomas smiled and shot a glance at me, laughing and agreeing, sure, next month I'll bring her to meet you all. Just as he finished speaking, Ashley laughed as she pushed open the door to the private room. Introducing who? Why do we have to wait until next month? Thomas, are you done with your work? Aren't we going to that concert? Her gaze swept over me, and for a moment, her voice caught in her throat, surprise and panic flashing in her eyes. Ethan? What are you doing here? I remembered that Ashley had told me this morning that she had to work overtime until midnight, and told me not to wait for her. So working overtime meant going to a concert with Thomas? I gave a soundless laugh, meeting her gaze. Like you can see, attending a college reunion. She nodded a few times, immediately changing the subject. That's great. I'll take you home. I grabbed my phone and called for a ride, my tone calm. That's all right, I can take a taxi. You guys go to your concert. With that, I headed downstairs. As soon as I got to the curb, Thomas followed me. Upset? Fine, here I'll give you the concert tickets. It's your last chance, you can make a memory before you forfeit. If not, maybe when you're older and looking back at your past, you might regret it later. My expression was icy. No need. After the divorce, I'll forget about the past. There's nothing worth remembering between me and her. You're saying that, but it's true that Ashley was with you under duress from me, but you did help me take care of some trouble. You weren't able to get Ashley's love, but if you couldn't even get any memories, that's far too cruel. We were just about to leave as we didn't notice a car was speeding towards us, and before we knew it, the driver was going ballistic on his horn and driving full throttle. The two of us turned our heads but were too late to escape. At that moment, Ashley surged forward and pushed Thomas out of the way and into a safe space while I had been thrown into the air and a far distance away from us as I landed on the ground with a loud bang. Fresh red blood spilled out of the corner of my mouth, and it felt as if my limbs wanted to break apart. The pain convulsed as every inch of my body twitched and contracted, and it hurt so damn much that my consciousness went into a blur. Before losing all my senses, I had caught a glimpse of Ashley as she was staring at Thomas with a panicked look. I had no idea how much time had passed, but it was a terrible pain that shot through me as I regained consciousness, and the moment I opened my eyes, the first thing I could see was Ashley's worry-filled face. "Ethan, how do you feel? You had been unconscious for the past 2 days." It had made me worry so much. I looked at her worrying expression and recalled what had happened before losing all senses, and I thought it was quite comical. When we were on the verge of death and life, she wanted to save Thomas and not me. All the time I was lying in a pool of blood, she wasn't even aware that I was injured badly, and I have never ever been placed within the confines of her heart, so how could she be worried for me? I took a shallow breath and a hoarse voice could be heard. "I'm okay, you should go take care of Thomas." Ashley was stunned, assuming that I was bothered by her not saving me. She said and made sure to explain, "Thomas is all right and you have been injured and wounded so badly, of course I would need to stay behind to take care of you." I shook my head and only said that I was tired before shutting my eyes and acting as if I were resting. Ashley did not bother me any longer and tucked me in while getting warm water for me and also a light meal after that. She then received a call which was about an emergency in the office and had to leave before declaring that she would be back the next day. The nurse came in to check and seeing how fully prepared she was, and I had married such a great wife and were envious of the both of us. I had nothing to say, and as I flipped my phone, I realized that my phone was ringing and there was a message by Thomas apologizing as I had a psychological scar due to the car crash and hence I had messaged Ashley. "Ashley and I are just having a meal and later we are going to have a movie night." He also enclosed an image of the popular restaurant, Project 6266, and on the opposite side to the camera, only Ashley's hand could be seen. I silently looked at the image while replying with 4 words, "Have fun." Within the week to follow, Ashley had come back to the hospital once a day and would stay for only 10 minutes and then leave. Thomas would always send messages as scheduled, reporting their routine. The difference between love and the lack of it was so obvious, and I felt really glad that I had agreed with the bet. The doctor did a final check before passing a prescription slip to me. "There shouldn't be any issues, you should call your wife to proceed with the discharge and to collect your medication." I took it while saying calmly, "She is not my wife, we have been divorced." The door to the hospital room was pushed open and Ashley came in with a surprised look on her face. "Divorced? What?" I had not anticipated her return and was taken aback. "It's nothing, I was just saying that lately you have left and abandoned the hospital." Seeing how calm I was, Ashley did not suspect much and had not thought too deeply. "I've been handling this new project recently, I'm so busy that I can't come to take care of you." As she was lying, her eyes did not flicker. My eyes were a little squinted. "If you are so busy, then there is no need for you to come at all, I can take care of myself." The words from my heart made Ashley think that I was feeling upset and feeling that she has not been doing well. "The project has been handled by and large and for this period of time, I'm going to spend it with you." She then intended to bring me back home and also asked the assistant to send over a large amount of models which I could pick from. Looking at the exquisite and limited edition models, I calmly rejected her. I had never liked any of these things and there is another person who like it. After hearing me say that I did not like those items, Ashley said, "In that case, let me get you a new gift. What would you like, watches or a lavish car? I will get everything which you might be happy with." All of these things could not get a reaction from me. In the past 3 years, every anniversary, and every festival, she would give a lot of gifts. Similar logos and designs were found and filled the entire wardrobe up, almost as if it was a warehouse for a luxury brand. In the past, I thought it was out of concern for me, so even if I had no interest in the items, I would be happy to receive them. However, as of today, when I heard her say that she did not even know what I like, I had realized that she was just too lazy and would want to select the gifts. If they are a certain price, they could never be wrong, and hence on this occasion, I had expressed myself more clearly, there is no need and you don't have to be bothered to get them for me. Ashley was for the first time hearing me say such words and started to panic inside. You are my husband, and it's only a given for me to get a gift for you, and how could there be any troubles? So funny how she has not realized that we have signed a divorce and those papers have been signed a long time ago. In the days to follow, Ashley would always be at home and not go out, and I have also begun to pack my belongings and clothing that I don't use anymore and the curtains in the house, and my double cups. Ashley was shocked when I had suddenly packed so many belongings, and just as she wanted to ask, Thomas called and Ashley had immediately forgotten about what she wanted to ask and picked up the phone and went away. I have also seen the phone number, and after she left, I threw all of it into the rubbish chute. At midnight, Ashley had not returned and had only sent a message saying that she had to leave for an overseas business trip. Not long later, Thomas had also sent an image where he and Ashley were having a meal. Ashley had said that she wanted to go overseas with me for a few days, and I only replied with one word: sure. I then took this occasion to pack and prepared a detailed itinerary, and after it was completed, I reserved a flight ticket back to my hometown, and the airline called to confirm on the schedule, and I listened carefully. I reiterated the sentence: I have booked a flight ticket 1 week later, where are you going? I heard Ashley's voice, and after turning my head, I realized she had already gotten back home without me knowing. I avoided the confused look she gave me and placed the phone down, and told her the truth: I was heading back to my hometown to visit my parents. Ashley nodded her head and didn't bother to ask about the details while getting a gift that had been wrapped up really carefully. You had previously said that you did not like those models, and I selected a watch for you and check it out to see if you like it. I had simply opened it before putting it down. I like it. This cold reaction made Ashley slightly surprised, and she moved forward slowly and lightly and gently held on to me while having a tone of concern in her words. What is up with you lately? I had been gone for so long and never sent you any messages. Is there something that is troubling you? After seeing how silent I was, Ashley had thought that I was genuinely upset. As she was tiptoeing, she wanted to kiss me, but I had strangely pushed her away and turned towards the bathroom. I'm not feeling too good today. I'm not in the mood. Maybe another time. Watching me walk away, Ashley seemed a little puzzled. Has his stomach been bothering him for that long and it hasn't gotten better? The next afternoon, Ashley said she had a surprise planned and took me out. When we arrived at the restaurant, the waiter led us straight to a private room on the rooftop. As soon as the doors opened, I saw the room was filled with fresh flowers and candles. I frowned slightly. Ashley smiled. Ethan, do you like it? I stayed quiet for a few seconds, then silently sat down. Ashley picked up the menu and ordered a table full of my favorite dishes. When the food was brought out, she even peeled shrimp and crab for me, placing them in my bowl. All evening, she kept trying to find topics to talk about and even brought up memories from when we were dating. Remember when we first got together? You used to walk me to class every day and you'd get detention from my teacher. He even asked me what our relationship was. I was uncomfortable with her sudden tenderness. What's gotten into you today? I just noticed you haven't been happy lately, so I wanted to cheer you up. Suddenly, the private room door was kicked open. Thomas Kane stormed in with a group of people, and someone was even holding a camera, taking pictures like crazy. Ethan, what do you think of the date today? This is the surprise I meticulously planned. Aren't you moved? Hearing Thomas's smug tone, I turned my head to look at Ashley and asked the question again, but my voice was already trembling. Did you set this up? Ashley didn't notice the change in my voice. She shook her head slightly, smiling at Thomas. Wasn't it Thomas who helped me come up with the idea? Thomas smirked. That's right. I heard Ashley say she missed your wedding anniversary, so I came up with this idea. The restaurant, flowers, candles, food, fireworks. I introduced her to all of it. It'll definitely help you have an unforgettable night. Oh, did you get that watch I picked out for you? I spent a long time choosing it. Did you like it? So, it was all Thomas's doing. No wonder Ashley was being so attentive. In that moment, I remembered the things Thomas had done to set us up back in college. Hearing the praises around me about Thomas's clever arrangement, a deep sense of powerlessness welled up inside me. Thomas had orchestrated all of this just to prove one thing to me: no matter how many years had passed, the relationship between me and Ashley, from beginning to end, even the developments in between, wasn't decided by me. From beginning to end, it was all in Thomas's hands. I could only passively accept it, and Ashley was willing to go along with it. Seeing Thomas surrounded by everyone, I couldn't take it anymore. I stood up to go downstairs. I had only walked halfway when Thomas chased after me and called me back. "What's wrong? Not happy? Ending this relationship with a romantic candlelit dinner will definitely leave a lasting impression on your life, right? These photos are for you to remember." I lowered my eyes and saw the photos he was holding out. In the pictures, fireworks in the shape of a heart were blooming behind Ashley. She was holding my arm and seemed very intimate, but I immediately noticed that her eyes weren't looking at the camera, but at Thomas. I didn't take the photos, just silently looked at the person in front of me, my voice filled with weariness. "I've already signed the divorce papers and I'm going to let her go to you. What's the point of doing this?" "No point? I thought you'd be really touched. If you don't like it, I won't do it again in the future. There won't be any more chances anyway." Thomas grinned, turned to leave. Suddenly, the overhead lights became loose. In an instant, the heavy crystal chandelier, weighing dozens of pounds, fell straight toward the two of us. I instinctively raised my hand to protect my head and saw Ashley running over. The light crashed down, causing me to fall to the ground. A painful groan escaped my throat, and my whole body trembled. Just as I wanted to call for help, I saw Thomas crying as he helped Ashley, who was also hit by the light, her body covered in blood. "Ashley, why are you so stupid?" My mind became increasingly fuzzy, and my vision grew blurry. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore and completely lost consciousness. When I woke up, I saw Thomas. He placed a birthday invitation on the table. 6 days later was the last day of the cooling-off period after the divorce between you and Ashley, and it's also Ashley's birthday. I plan to confess to her that day. She likes me so much, she'll definitely be happy with this big surprise. Ashley suffered a mild concussion, but I'll take good care of her these days. If you want to spend these last days with her, I can move you to the hospital room next to her. I closed my eyes, my voice as calm as water. No need. The person she wants to see most right now is you, and I don't want to see her either. Thomas understood and nodded, closed the door, and left. During my last days in the hospital, Ashley called and texted several times. I didn't reply. On the day I left, I checked out of the hospital and went to get my divorce certificate. After returning home, I placed the divorce certificate and the signed divorce agreement together in a gift box and tied a ribbon on it. I was holding my luggage, about to leave, when I ran into Ashley, who was returning. Seeing me with my suitcase, she was a little surprised. "Ethan, today's my birthday. I was just about to take you to a party." "Where are you going?" I didn't blush, and my heart didn't beat faster as I lied. "I have to catch a flight back home." "It's today's flight." I turned around and grabbed the gift box from the table. "I prepared a birthday present for you." "Happy birthday." "I have to catch my flight, so I'm leaving." I didn't wait for Ashley's reaction, just went out, hailed a taxi, and went straight to the airport. Seeing my back leaving so hastily, Ashley's eyebrows twitched a few times, a sense of panic in her heart. She instinctively wanted to call me back, tell me to change my flight, and at least attend her birthday party, but as soon as she took a step, Thomas's phone call came. "Ashley, the birthday party is about to start. Why aren't you here yet? This is a party I prepared for you for a long time, and I've also prepared a big gift for you." Hesitating for a moment, she finally drove away, leaving the gift box I gave her carelessly on the car, not even opening it. Pushing open the hotel doors, the party hall was packed, people raising glasses and celebrating. Seeing her appear, Thomas quickly walked toward her. "Ashley, you're here." Ashley nodded, her expression gentle. "Didn't you say you had a surprise for me?" Hearing this, Thomas smiled. "Ashley, you're definitely going to like this surprise." With that, he quickly walked onto the stage, picked up the microphone, his voice echoing throughout the hall. Thank you all for taking the time to attend Ashley's birthday party. Today is a good day. Not only is it her birthday, but I'm also bringing two pieces of good news. The first piece of good news is to congratulate Ashley on her divorce, to bid farewell to the past, and to welcome a new future. The second piece of good news is that I will officially confess to Ashley here. Ashley, you've liked me for so many years, but I've always selfishly wasted your feelings. But today, I've completely realized that I want to be with you forever. The warm and bright lights shone on Thomas, as if casting a layer of sacred halo on him on the stage. He stared into Ashley's eyes, his eyes full of deep emotions and light tremors, and softly said, "For the longest time, you've been like a small son in my life, always silently accompanying me, quietly protecting me. Every moment you accompany me is like a star dotting the sky of my memories." I used to think this warmth was a matter of course, until this moment, I understood that this is the harbor you built for me with your true feelings. Ashley's mind was blank. Before she could react, Thomas took the microphone and walked in front of her, gently holding her hand. I've seen countless landscapes, but in your eyes, I found the most beautiful picture. I've heard countless words, but in your care, I felt the warmest strength. From today onward, I don't want to let you silently follow behind me anymore. I want to walk side by side with you through every season, through every landscape. Do you want to step into every moment of my future with me? Ethan has divorced you. For so many years, you've always followed after me, doing everything with me. I also know that you really love me. Now, I don't want to let you continue to chase after me, because I've decided to be with you. Ashley, do you like this surprise? This is the birthday gift I'm giving you, being with me. Ashley stood there, at a total loss for what to do, with zero reaction. Thomas looked at Ashley and thought that she was so happy that she had a moment of confusion, so he said her name to garner a reaction. Ashley had a belly full of questions, but facing the crowd in the party hall, she couldn't ask them one by one. She could only maintain the situation, putting on a happy expression and saying to Thomas, "Thank you for preparing all of this for me. I'm very touched." Although she didn't give a clear answer, everyone present knew that Ashley had been devoted to Thomas for years and assumed that they had been together for a long time. It's just that they hadn't divorced, so they hadn't made it public. Now that they had divorced, they immediately announced it to everyone at such a big party. "I knew you'd like it." Very satisfied with Ashley's reaction, Thomas smiled and put his arm around her waist, walking through the crowd, his face full of happiness, as if they were a match made in heaven. Everyone present sent their warmest congratulations, congratulating Ashley on her perseverance for many years and finally getting her wish, congratulating Thomas on finally finding true love. Congratulations, Ashley. This can be considered loyal, right? The party ended very late. Thomas was very happy and drank a few extra glasses, a little tipsy, his arm around Ashley's waist, not letting go. That day, to show the rest of us up and also confess when they were already having a relationship. Looking at Thomas next to her, Ashley was too busy to pay attention to other things. All the questions in her head were thrown to the back of her mind. She could only drive Thomas home first. After helping Thomas into bed, it was already very late when she returned home. Ashley arrived home and looked at the room enveloped in darkness. Only then did she remember that I was no longer there. He's gone back to his hometown. Ashley didn't think that I could leave her, because she knew how much I loved her, just like how she had always followed behind Thomas all these years. I had always been following behind her. Recalling that this morning, before leaving, I had still given her a birthday present, Ashley thought I was just a little angry and wanted her to coax me. Because of Thomas, she neglected me, but when I returned, she would make it up to me. Thinking of this, she called me, not caring what time it was now, or if she was bothering me. She called for half the day, but no one answered. Ashley didn't give up and texted me. Seeing the red exclamation point on WeChat and the notification that the message had been sent but was rejected by the other party, Ashley was a little annoyed. Was this what it means for me to not know how to explain and directly disappear? Was she waiting for me to look for him? As the soft light shone in the living room, Ashley went to the garage and took out the gift box. Her fingertips stopped on the velvet box. Her fingertips brushed against the unopened wrapping paper, unable to feel what was inside at all. In the past, when I gave her gifts, I gave them directly. It was the first time being wrapped so beautifully. Thinking of this, Ashley was still a little curious. The phone on the coffee table suddenly rang, the screen lighting up with Thomas's name, like a silver needle piercing a small hole in the warm glow. "Ashley, where are you?" The voice on the phone was a little unclear, probably because he was still not quite awake. "I'm at home." "What's wrong?" Hearing Thomas's voice, Ashley stopped opening the gift box in her hand, deliberately lowered her voice. "I'm not feeling well." "Why aren't you here with me?" Hearing Thomas's voice, Ashley put down the gift box, grabbed a coat, threw it over her arm, picked up the car keys, and went out. "I'll be right there. Be a good boy and wait for me." When she arrived at Thomas's house, it was already a bit brighter. "Ashley, my confession to you wasn't a momentary decision. So, now I'm your boyfriend." "Ashley, what do you want to do with your boyfriend?" Thomas grabbed Ashley's hand and placed it on his abs, saying seductively, "No, I want to ask when Ethan divorced you. And now I can't contact him." "Ashley, I thought you'd be filled with joy because we're together. Now I'm all yours, why do you care about unimportant people?" Thomas's tone was not very good. Hearing Thomas say this, Ashley didn't know why, but a hint of strangeness flashed through her heart. "How would I know? He texted me saying he had divorced me and even showed me the divorce certificate. I thought you were eager to be with me, so you got a divorce with him. Yesterday, he didn't even show up for my birthday, and you're still thinking about him?" The divorce certificate. Ashley was very shocked. She was just notified of the divorce and smeared with dirty water. "Isn't he not emotional with you? After all, it's been so many years. Every time you had trouble with Thomas, he was the one by your side. He just saw that Thomas had just returned to the country and wasn't familiar with this place, so he was with him more. You have to divorce him again because he was with him." Seeing Ashley's bad expression, Thomas didn't think much and put everything on me. "Didn't he threaten me? If he didn't help him, he would spread rumors about me in the college friend group, wanting me to be discredited." "He really said that?" Ashley didn't dare to believe it. I, who usually spoke gently to her and treated everyone properly, would do such a thing? "Don't you believe me?" "It's not that I don't believe you, it's just that I didn't expect him to treat you like that." "Aren't you college roommates, good friends?" "He wasn't my good friend. He used to be jealous of me. If he hadn't told me that he liked you and introduced me to Summer Yao, I wouldn't have introduced you to him." "He introduced Summer to you?" Ashley was successfully led by Thomas. The issue of Thomas's successful scheme was, of course, not hesitating to smear my impression in Ashley's heart. After all, even though we were together for so many years, Ashley still held on to me. She definitely wouldn't allow it. She was the one who introduced Summer Yao to me and forced me to introduce you to her. She made me play matchmaker or else she would have ruined my relationship with Summer. I was fooled by her so bad that I couldn't recognize my own heart. The sunlight bathed the colorful land of Yunnan. Though the scars from the divorce still lingered in my heart, they were outweighed by my anticipation for a new life. I had just ended a failed marriage and set foot on this land of mystery and peace. Even just arriving in Kunming, a city known as the City of Eternal Spring, greeted me with warm sunshine and vibrant flowers. I strolled down the street, the gentle breeze caressing my hair. The colorful flowers along the road swayed in the wind, and the sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating mottled patches of light and shadow. It was as if I was in a beautiful painting. In Kunming's botanical garden, the fascinating exhibitions kept me captivated. In the massive greenhouse, rare plants from different regions amazed me with the wonders of nature. In the international exhibition area, the cultures of different countries converged, as if transporting me through time and space to experience the styles of different places. For so many years, I had been revolving around Ashley. I hadn't had the time to travel and relax myself. Taking advantage of this divorce, I took a closer look at the beautiful landscapes of my country. My first destination was Yunnan, known as the South of the Colorful Clouds. I had told Ashley many times that I wanted to travel, that I wanted to stroll through the ancient city of Dali, feel the wind from Irai Lake, but each time she said she was too busy, never agreeing to any of my suggestions. It was at that college reunion that I learned that her too busy actually meant she was spending time traveling overseas with Thomas. Next, I went to the stone forest. Stepping into the stone forest, I felt like I had entered a kingdom of stone. The stones came in all shapes and sizes, some like soldiers standing tall, some like fairies dancing, some like adorable animals. I walked through the stone forest, stroking the stones that had endured the passage of time, imagining the stories behind them. When the tour guide told the story of Ashima and Ahei, a hint of longing and emotion appeared in my eyes, as if seeing those young lovers resolutely resisting feudal forces. Leaving the stone forest, I arrived in Dali, slowly walking on the bluestone road of Dali ancient city. The stones under my feet made a crisp sound, as if telling ancient tales. The small shops along the road were filled with colorful scarves and exquisite handicrafts. I began to stroll leisurely, immersing myself in this beautiful world. When I reached the shore of Irai Lake, the distant mountains connected to the blue waters, creating a poetic landscape. Irai Lake was like a giant mirror lying on this land, the clear water shimmering under the sunlight, rippling with waves. I rented a bicycle and rode along Irai Lake. The gentle breeze carried the moisture of the lake, softly caressing my face, making me feel incredibly comfortable. In the distance, Songshan Mountain stood tall, clouds swirling around its peaks, like a celestial scene. By the stream, the spring water was clear and bright. Around me, colorful flowers blossomed, and butterflies fluttered among them. I closed my eyes, feeling the tranquility and beauty of nature, as if I had become one with the mountains and rivers. I took a deep breath, trying to let the fresh air dispel the darkness in my heart. I shouldn't have given up my freedom for someone unworthy. So many years spent stuck in a house, waiting for someone whose heart was filled with another. Looking back at myself, I sat quietly on a bench by the lake, gazing at the surface of the water. The small boats on the lake gently swayed with the waves, gradually becoming still, just like my restless heart at this moment. I don't know how long passed before sunset arrived, the twilight on the horizon like a magnificent painting. I walked along the shore of Irai Lake, the stones under my feet dyed gold by the sunset. My shadow in the setting sun stretched long, as if this was a new chapter fate had written for me. The story of Ashley and Thomas was now a thing of the past for me. My memories were covered by a thin veil, somewhat hazy and unclear. Finally, I arrived in Lee-yeon ancient city, with its lively Sifong street. Both sides of the road were filled with all kinds of ornaments and jade. I strolled along the ancient streets, admiring the exquisite handicrafts, feeling the strong ethnic style. Many elderly people in gorgeous costumes gathered in a circle, dancing happily, their faces full of happy smiles. I was also infected by this joy, gently dancing to the rhythm. As night fell, the ancient city was ablaze with lights, the lights reflecting on the small river, creating shimmering waves. I sat in a small bar by the river, listening to the melodious singing, enjoying the local wine, my heart filled with satisfaction and joy. I hadn't thought about Ashley and Thomas in a long time. This was a good thing. I drank some wine, feeling a little tipsy, and prepared to go out for a walk to sober up. As I walked to the front of a small courtyard, it suddenly started to drizzle, the raindrops slanting across the eaves. I leaned against the mottled wooden doorframe, and the swaying lanterns on the bluestone road became hazy. I reached out to catch a drop of water falling from the corner of my eye, feeling the coolness penetrate my mind, but awakening the remaining warmth of the alcohol at my fingertips. In the corner of the road, a tangerine wall lamp suddenly lit up. The vine-covered gate of the courtyard opened, and the glass sign with listening rain small courtyard, cleaned by the rain, shone brightly. I staggered and pushed the door open. After the flower bushes, the crisp sound of porcelain breaking rang out. "Ethan, need a towel?" A gentle female voice made me take a half step back. A very beautiful hand reached out from under the eaves. Under the half-rolled curtains, a woman in a simple gown leaned against a wrought-tan chair, her pale fingertips placed on a teacup with a celadon lid. The rain spread between her eyebrows, creating lines like ink painting, reminding me of the celadon pottery I had seen in the museum. Gentle, yet fragile. how do you know my name? I clutched the corner of my shirt, and the gentle wind blew through my hair. Samantha Hayes coughed and sat up straight, her wrist exposed from her sleeve, so thin that her blood vessels could be seen. At the university welcome party, I saw you playing the drums. You were very good. Her fingertips tightened slightly, grasping the corner of her shirt. You were very energetic. It was hard to forget. Her face was a bit flushed. Thunder tore through the clouds at this moment. Now, I noticed that her face was already flushed. Water from the wisteria frame dripped into the inkstone, making the ink that hadn't dried yet form dark gray ripples against the dark night. Samantha Hayes was like a bewitching spirit, seducing people into desire. I couldn't help but be attracted to her. I took the towel from her hand and went into the room with her. Sitting in the room, I was suddenly startled by the unsuitability of being alone with a complete stranger in a strange ancient city at night. The room was a bit silent, an ambiguous atmosphere spreading through the space. I panicked slightly and randomly opened a topic. Are you also a student at King's College? I was in a car accident in my 3rd year of college. After that, every year at this time, I come here for a short time to recuperate. Samantha noticed my embarrassment and subconsciously said a few more words to ease my awkwardness. Car accident. No wonder she looked like a sickly beauty. Samantha was happy that I didn't remember her, but she had kept me in her heart for so many years. Knowing that I was dating, until I got married, she no longer paid attention to anything about me. I returned to the residence, and Samantha immediately took out her phone and called her assistant, telling them to immediately investigate why I had come to Lee-yeon alone. Samantha Hayes couldn't sleep for a long time after she went back to the courtyard. She wasn't as calm as she was in front of me today. She even needed a lot of effort to restrain her heartbeat, so it wouldn't beat too fast, for fear of scaring me. The phone made a ding sound. A message from the assistant had arrived. Looking at the message on her phone, Samantha couldn't help but smile. It had been discovered that a few days ago, at Ashley's birthday party, her childhood sweetheart publicly announced her divorce and confessed to Ashley. What exactly happened would have to wait until tomorrow to be told to me. Divorced. Her opportunity had arrived. This was really the best news recently. I hadn't dreamed in a long time. Today, I had a dream, dreaming of college, before I met Ashley, before I was the way I was now. Once, in the cafeteria, I lost my meal card and my phone was dead. Just when I was embarrassed, a very beautiful hand took out a meal card and swiped it for me. The slender, soft, and fair fingers were the type I liked. I was a bit obsessed with hands. Seeing such a beautiful hand, I was a bit stunned. When I reacted and turned around to thank her, I only saw her back leaving. I woke up, thinking of the hand Samantha had given me the towel with last night. It was also very beautiful. I was shocked to realize that I was thinking about the woman I had just met yesterday. I blushed a little, trying to push the random thoughts out of my head. I self-deceptively patted my face, pushed open the door, and went out. Looking at the blue sky, the fragrance of flowers in the air, today was another beautiful sunny day. Walking on the quiet street, I only felt peace in my heart. Coincidentally, I saw Samantha walking over and greeting me, making me blush a little. I was thinking about her early in the morning. It was truly unbearable to be mentioned. Coincidentally, you're also taking a walk. After saying that, I realized that I had asked a silly question, wanting to take it back, but it was too late. I could only laugh awkwardly. I just said a few words and left. Samantha was a little disappointed. And I could feel her walking towards me and would stop myself and let her pass so she would not realize that I wanted to find her. The ending of how coincidental it would have been was what she was looking for. But it was never by chance, and this was the 30th time I could feel that she had been walking. Samantha was a little embarrassed and stood there. How about we go together? Seeing Samantha's slightly silly look, I only found her adorable and, as a result, invited her to help reduce Samantha's embarrassment. Okay. The goal has been reached, and Samantha secretly clapped her hands for herself. Sure enough, the search tactics last night didn't go to waste. Some small tricks are easily seen through at first glance, just past the embarrassment. A white cat or a black cat doesn't matter as long as they can hook a prince, then they are good cats. With Samantha accompanying me, a day of great joy made up for the regret of not being able to take pictures these past few days, and Samantha was very satisfied to have been the camera for the whole day. She was also very happy to be with the boy she had secretly loved for many years. After many days of unremitting work, Ashley had arranged everything at the company, setting aside a month to travel with Thomas. Thomas was very happy when he heard the news and invited Ashley home for dinner. He had finally remembered her house and me. Ashley returned home to pack up her things. Seeing the unopened gift in the living room, she finally opened it. But when she saw what was inside, Ashley was full of displeasure: the divorce agreement and the divorce certificate. What a great birthday present! Throwing the items aside, she went back to the bedroom to pack her clothes. Only then did Ashley find that all my belongings in the room had completely disappeared. Half of the wardrobe was empty. The photos on the bedside table had also disappeared. Even the toiletries in the bathroom were gone. I'm really good. Did I leave me just because I spent more time with Thomas, just because I gave you attention? Was the look on her face that I used to be unable to restrain was fake? Or am I, as Thomas said, so fake? Is your love so shallow? For some reason, Ashley, who was very angry when she confirmed that I had left and had no intention of returning, felt a strange feeling in her heart, a bit breathless. I have always loved Thomas, but a backup choice. Ashley kept hypnotizing herself in her heart, suppressing that strange feeling. After drinking a lot of wine at dinner, Ashley, in a depressed mood, under Thomas's gentle seduction, indulged in love with him. Seeing Thomas holding her asleep, although she had completely obtained her childhood sweetheart, she still felt empty in her heart. My figure always appeared in her mind. The next day, Thomas received the plane tickets to Yunnan and casually asked Ashley, "Why did you think of going to Yunnan first?" Ashley looked at the plane tickets to Yunnan in her hand, unable to help but think of the previous times. I used to often mention wanting to travel to Yunnan, but maybe they would always deny those plans, and so many years have gone by after marrying. They have not even been on a honeymoon. When preparing to take Thomas on a trip, he accidentally bought a plane ticket to Yunnan. Looking at Ashley next to him, who was looking at the plane ticket out of her mind, Thomas gently touched Ashley's arm with his arm. "What's wrong?" The mood in the recent days was often restless, always distracted. Ashley came to her senses, looked at Thomas next to her, and smiled. "It's nothing, just thinking about whether the travel itinerary for you is missing something." Even though I was answering Thomas's question, but still unconsciously comparing him to me. On a beautiful sunny day, Ashley and Thomas set foot on Yunnan, this land full of dreams and mystery. The stone roads of Sifong Street are still covered in morning dew. My linen jacket was held in Samantha's arms as she leaned over to help me adjust my collar. Suddenly, the sound of glass shattering was heard. The familiar scent of cedar wood mixed with the scent of plum wine. Broken items flowed through as Ashley's left hand was still linked with Thomas, as she heard the commotion and turned and her eyes fell on Thomas and Samantha, who were enjoying a leisurely stroll as a pair. All the wounds that had faded were suddenly clear, as if they had just happened yesterday. I stared at her ring finger, the brand new platinum couple ring. I suddenly remembered that for the past few years after I got married, Ashley had never even worn a wedding ring. It turned out that she didn't dislike wearing rings but didn't want to wear them with me. It's not like she never had time to travel, it's that she didn't have time to travel with me. Restraining the desire to run away, I tried to pretend as if there was nothing. Just as I was struggling to be as calm as possible, talking to the two people in front of me, Samantha suddenly grabbed my hand. This action made Ashley's pupils shrink. "In the short 1 month since that day, you've already learned how to find a lover in the ancient city." The word lover seemed to have been used on purpose to show how low Samantha was. She intentionally led Thomas to our faces. Meeting old friends but not greeting them? Ashley deliberately used the term lover to insult Samantha, thereby belittling me. I think this lover is not quite appropriate. Samantha suddenly smiled lightly, her fingertips brushing the red string on my wrist, which was the piece knot that I had removed 18 new medicine sachets from last night in Lee-yeon City and I made with her. "After all, you're already divorced, aren't you?" Samantha, when she saw Ashley, instantly remembered the documents her assistant had sent her. Every single thing in there made her very angry. Who would leave her husband to chase the so-called white moonlight, not care if her husband was in danger? She didn't have the right to intervene before, but now that they are already divorced, who does Ashley think she is to be giving me a cold face? Looking up, I saw the couple in front of me, seeming very affectionate. The woman who once said strolling was too tiring was now willingly strolling with Thomas. I didn't know about the divorce. It doesn't count. Ashley, hearing another woman mention that she was divorced, was a bit angry out of embarrassment. So fast, you found your second spring? Aren't you going to introduce us? Thomas, who had been silent for a while, looked at the woman next to me, whose aura was no less than Ashley's, and felt a bit uncomfortable. He's just a loser. What reason would we have to know each other? I had calmed down and didn't want to talk too much with these two hateful people. The divorce was in black and white, clearly stated, and the seal of the Civil Affairs Bureau had also been stamped. It's not that if you say it doesn't count, it doesn't count. Use your brain a little. I've thought it through and don't plan to continue to endure it. Have I not suffered enough being with her? I'm already divorced, but I still have to listen to her barking. All my good mood has been ruined. What bad luck. Hearing my impolite words, Ashley stood frozen in place. How did you become like this? So rude and impolite. I didn't really believe what Thomas said about what you did a few years ago. Now that I see you like this, it's obvious you bullied Thomas quite a few times before. I bullied him? I felt a bit amused and laughed directly. How funny. Thomas, I bullied you? Thomas? Thomas was flustered by my questioning, afraid of a direct confrontation. After all, what he said was all made up. Ashley, let's go. Ethan's not too welcoming. This young lady has a bad temper. You have to be more tolerant of him. Please, take care of him. Thomas, before leaving, didn't forget to make things difficult for me, speaking ill of me in front of me and my girlfriend, pretending to be embarrassed, but still thinking of his good friend. Thomas, you're too kind, Ashley said, hearing Thomas still explaining for me. Looking at Thomas's aggrieved expression, a hint of heartache rose in her heart. Samantha didn't respond to Thomas, but said to me, let's go. I know Samantha is doing this to help me. Thomas was furious. From before there was never a time that someone who claimed to be this close would be embarrassed as him like this. Ashley watched the two back against the other leaving, a flash of evil was flashed in his face. I was far away from those people. Just as I was about to leave those people I didn't want to be close to, Samantha was about to pull away from me, and said thank you. Looking at my reaction, Samantha was a little disappointed but still had to keep trying. Of course. After meeting Ashley, Samantha suddenly didn't want to continue to cook frogs in warm water anymore. She wanted to have a legitimate identity to stand by my side, to accompany me. I wasn't an idiot. I could clearly feel Samantha's feelings for me during this time together. After all, no one is good to others for no reason. I had originally planned to reject her directly, but she always joked around, never speaking directly. But over the time we spent together, I couldn't reject her directly like before. It wasn't that I didn't have feelings for her, but it was too fast. I wanted to be sure before letting Samantha gradually enter my life. It's just that I wasn't ready now, so I spoke up, interrupting her. Let's go eat, okay? I'm hungry after walking for so long. Faced with my deliberate interruption, Samantha felt a little heartache, but she wasn't a procrastinator. She had decided to make things clear and would do it to the end. Moreover, she had missed me for too many years. Now, she didn't want to continue anymore. She wanted to be with me. I like you. Hearing Samantha's confession, I stood silently in place for a long time. Seeing me silent, Samantha continued. I've been in love with you since the freshman welcome party. I originally planned to get to know you, but at that time I was taking over the family business and was too busy. When I was free, I found that you already had someone accompanying you. I thought college love wouldn't last long, so I kept waiting for you to break up. But you agreed to her confession. The love in your eyes was so intense that I had to back down. I thought, just let it be, as long as you're happy. So after you got married, I stopped following your life. But this time, you appeared in my world. When I found out you were divorced, I was so happy. So all this time, I've been sticking to you, pretending not to understand your rejection, always being by your side. At first, I thought as long as I was by your side, even if it was just as friends, it was enough. But people are greedy. Now I want more. I want not just to be by your side as a friend, I want a title to be with you. I like you. I love you. Samantha wasn't telling the truth. She had never planned to just be friends by my side. Even when she knew I was married, she didn't give up, but had planned long ago how to get us to divorce. If it wasn't because she had been in a car accident and her body had only recently recovered, she would have separated us long ago. Now, Thomas's appearance had caused us to divorce. This was Providence helping her. She knew her current actions were taking advantage of someone's difficulties, but so what? The long silence made her a bit uneasy. If you don't agree, then I'll lock you up so you can only see me, Samantha thought silently. Turns out I didn't know she liked me so early. I listened to Samantha's words, a little surprised, and also a bit touched. When I was chasing Ashley, there was also someone like that behind me, watching me. I admitted that I liked her a bit, but I had just experienced a failed marriage and was a bit afraid to enter a new relationship. Do you understand what I mean? Hearing me say I liked her, Samantha's heart was wild with joy. As long as I liked her, there would be a way to turn this little liking into a lot of liking. It's okay, you just need to like me a little. Don't stand there, don't run away, wait for me to come to your side. My phone suddenly vibrated, showing many missed calls from an unfamiliar number. I reached out and pressed the power button, realizing that in the place I wasn't important, Ashley was. I was very uncomfortable. This discomfort continued until I got back to my lodgings, and as she lay on the bed all her memories were full of that man, compared to herself, when she was with him. She thought the change in him, and her feeling about him was much more comfortable and familiar to that of what Thomas was. However, Thomas was someone she had never been with like that, and her memories were more fresh. Ashley knew that he looked even more radiant and brighter today, attracting everyone's attention. Thinking of how that evening, she borrowed a passerby's phone and made more than a dozen calls, but none of them connected, she couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. Oh, he just really disappeared from you. Her thoughts haunted her to the point it was all she could do to be in a constant loop of thoughts. Even when she was with Thomas, she was still thinking about me and the woman beside me. Thomas was also thinking about me, the woman beside me. The demeanor she exuded was extraordinary, even better than Ashley. Why was it that someone he had once surpassed now had someone better by their side? The two were both thinking about other people, so neither of them noticed the other's perfunctoriness. On this side, the two had reached an understanding, and the atmosphere between the two was all pink bubbles. Returning to my lodgings, I reacted that I had never told Samantha about my divorce. How did she know? When I sensed a problem, I should communicate with the other party, not speculate on my own. I directly called Samantha. Ethan, what's wrong? Samantha was very happy to receive the call. I never told you I was divorced. How did you find out? I didn't beat around the bush, but asked Samantha directly. Samantha knew this was a little bit concerning. Ethan, wait for me a moment. I'll come find you. While waiting, I didn't sit idly by, but cleaned the room a bit. After all, we had just gotten together. I still had to pay attention to my image. I didn't have to wait long before hearing a knock on the door. I opened the door for Samantha to enter, waiting for her explanation. I'm sorry, Ethan. The first day I met you, I saw you alone here, worried about you, so I asked someone else. Then I heard them say you were divorced. Don't be angry. Samantha looked at me pitifully, acting cute. This was something she had just learned online, hoping it would work. I don't mean to blame you. I just suddenly thought that you also knew I had just divorced. Looking at her feigned pitifulness, I wasn't angry at all, but found her even more adorable. I know you just divorced and I'm taking advantage of your difficulties, but I like you too much. Knowing what I was about to say, Samantha hurriedly interrupted. She didn't like seeing me underestimate myself in front of her. I'm the best person in the world of love. I have nothing and know nothing. Although I'm not the first guest at your station of love, you're my only one. You're the most important person in my life. No matter what kind of life you live, I will go through it with you. No matter where you go, I want to be by your side. Even if you say to me, I don't love you anymore. I don't need you anymore, I still can't be separated from you. I once again heard Samantha's confession, once again shaken by her feelings for me. It was difficult for anyone to remain calm when faced with such sincere feelings, so I didn't pay attention to her curiosity about me, but gently hugged her, to let her know my feelings. In those long, sleepless nights, the sheep jumping in my memory had suddenly all turned into her. When Samantha woke up, recalling that yesterday she had expressed her feelings to me, her face was full of smiles. She hurriedly woke up, wanting to see me. When she opened the door, she saw me standing in front of her room, holding a bouquet of jasmine flowers. The meaning of jasmine is eternal love and a lifetime of waiting. The most blooming flowers in Samantha's eyes were not as bright as the smile on my face. Samantha, good morning. I've been thinking all night. I can't quickly respond to such intense love, but I've decided to be with you. I will give you all my attention, trying to make you feel equal love. I hope that in the days to come, we can hold hands and spend the rest of our lives together. I had prepared for half a day. When I saw Samantha open the door, I blurted out all the words I had thought about all morning, waiting for the other party's reaction. I waited for a long time, but didn't hear Samantha's reply. I looked up at Samantha, and saw her eye sockets were red, as if she was about to cry. I was a little worried, wanting to comfort Samantha, but suddenly didn't know what to say. Samantha didn't wait for me to think of something to say, but hugged my waist tightly, saying with a choked voice, "Thank you for the flowers. How can I do this? I feel like I love you even more than yesterday." Samantha, seeing me standing in front of her with those flowers, this had caused a situation that she could not even begin to explain for herself. Samantha just hugged me tightly. Having finished her trip and was supposed to say that she was headed back home, Samantha had suddenly claimed that she wanted to stay by her side. It was winter when Samantha and I came back to Beijing. There had been a heavy snowfall, and Beijing was known as the place she was from, with beautiful ancient landmarks and tall modern buildings. The old but modern place had some form of cold weather, especially when there was heavy snowfall. Trees lined the side of the snow-ridden roads, which were tall and dry and stood bare in the middle of the city. This caused a lot of the leaves to fly across the streets and eventually fall into the ground. As I was exiting from the airport, I had gotten a chill and had felt the cold wind blowing against my skin. However, I did enjoy the snowfall, and it was a welcome sight to finally see it on Earth. The few who didn't feel that way were drowned out by everyone's discussion. Seeing my unpleasant expression, someone quietly reminded, "Don't say any more." The class leader, seeing my unpleasant expression, said with a smile, "Ethan, you're not angry, are you? We're not saying anything bad, it's all true. Don't be so sensitive." The class reunion had turned into an indictment against me. If I couldn't see the purpose of this meeting, I truly was an idiot. I was about to get up and leave, but Thomas, who had just walked in from outside, interrupted. Thomas smiled and greeted everyone, "Sorry everyone, I'm late. We were just talking about you guys and Ethan." "You're here too? I was worried you'd blame me for not coming." "Why would I blame you?" the class leader chimed in. "Wasn't it because of Ashley? After you returned to the country, she was still the same as before. Ethan got jealous and insisted on getting a divorce, even blaming me for the divorce. He also felt very sorry for me. But Ashley loves me, not you. There's nothing that can be done about it. After all, you have been married for years without obtaining a sliver of love." The room erupted in murmurs. If this is your goal, I thought, then I can only say sorry. Now, to me, Ashley is just an ex-wife, a familiar stranger, and as always, an obstacle for you. I truly felt that way. I only wanted to reconcile my relationship with him. Looking at these familiar classmates, I felt a sense of alienation. So easily stirred up, I thought. I didn't bother to explain. I stood up and left. I walked to the door and waited for Samantha. Thomas chased after me. "I'll make you rot in the alumni community," he whispered in my ear. I gave him a mocking look. "You think too highly of yourself." Just then, Samantha arrived to pick me up. "Seems like the Hayes Corporation has too much free time lately. In the future, I don't want to see these people in any business establishment of the Hayes Corporation." Samantha didn't wait for these people to react, but led me away. Seeing me being led away by someone with such an aura, and then seeing security come to kick them out, everyone knew they had offended someone they shouldn't have, and it had affected their interests. Among them, quite a few worked under the Hayes Corporation and quickly received termination emails from the company. Furious, they wanted to go and scold Thomas, but seeing Ashley standing beside him, who was also someone they couldn't afford to offend, they could only admit their bad luck. It truly was God's fighting, and mortal suffering. There were also other classmates who worked with partners of the Hayes Corporation. Hearing this news, fearing retaliation, they were also directly fired. After everyone left, they all discussed it on their social media. Today, Thomas's self-inflicted actions had basically ruined his reputation. Originally, his confession and breakup was still a controversial topic, but he was always seen as good to Ashley for those years. Thomas, when he saw these news items, was so angry that he smashed the room to pieces. Ashley, on the other hand, was also having a headache. The company's partners, whose contracts had not yet expired, all began to withhold payments and goods. When asked, they only said they had offended someone they shouldn't have. Contracts that were originally intended to be renewed were directly turned over to competitors when they expired. Ashley was so busy that she directly stayed at the company. Thomas, unable to contact Ashley, had Summer Yao's caring inquiries. Thomas, already quite annoyed, was soothed by Summer Yao. Under the influence of alcohol, the two of them had relations. After that, Thomas felt that even though Ashley had been negligent towards him lately, it was at most just that she was too busy and hadn't been able to adapt to my departure, but she was still the childhood friend who was tolerant of him, so he became even more indulgent when he was with Summer Yao. They often went to the movies, traveled together, and even brought Summer Yao home for intimacy. He swiped his card, all Ashley's supplementary cards. Ashley, busy and having a headache at the company, saw the continuous supplementary card swiping notifications on her phone and felt extremely angry. Thomas didn't care about her. Now that the company had problems, he still wasn't restrained. So, no matter how busy she was, she made time to go to Thomas's house. As soon as she opened the door, she saw clothes thrown everywhere and heard the groans of men and women coming from the bedroom. Ashley was a little incredulous. Walking to the bedroom, pushing open the door, she saw Thomas and Summer Yao naked, still moving. Seeing Ashley return, Thomas was frightened, hurrying to find his foot to cover up. His tense mood also affected the other person. Inadvertently, his part was stuck in Summer Yao's body and couldn't be pulled out. Ashley, when she saw this scene, was so angry that she fainted directly. 2 ambulances came, one taking Ashley and one taking Thomas and Summer Yao to the hospital. The two couldn't even put on clothes, but could only let the medical staff wrap them in blankets. Being caught in bed was common, but after being caught, the two couldn't separate. This was not common. Everyone's eyes couldn't help but stop on them. Some curious people even filmed the two of them and posted it online. As soon as it was posted online, it caused a sensation. Netizens turned into meme kings, making jokes. Some people who knew them explained the whole story to the netizens who were watching the drama. Even the story of the childhood friendship, which had only circulated in a small area before, was brought out. Not knowing restraint, being the baby daddy was also dragged out. There was also a video from Ashley's birthday party before that was released. It turned out that the male lead who was stuck was the one who had previously stolen his roommate's wife, and now he was having an affair with his lover and got caught by his childhood friend. For a moment, people didn't know whether to laugh at Ashley's comeuppance or blame the netizens for being nosy. The 3 in the hospital were temporarily unaware of the frenzy online. Ashley, when she woke up, directly blocked Thomas's supplementary card, completely stopping her support for the Tang family. She told him to move out of the large apartment she rented for him. She had the assistant arrange these things. She herself didn't want to meet him, not even once. The Tang family, because of Tang's father's wrong decision, had been unable to maintain their previous extravagant life, so Thomas had returned from overseas, chasing me away from Ashley, clinging to Ashley. Now that Ashley wanted to give up on him, the family, without Ashley's help, could basically declare bankruptcy directly. Seeing Thomas being kicked out, living in a small house, Summer Yao also directly left, going to find him. She only didn't want to give up the money tree. Now that the money tree wasn't producing gold anymore, what was the point of staying? Thomas, with nothing left, could only think of ways to cling to Ashley, but all his actions to approach Ashley were blocked by the bodyguards. Ashley's time was also not easy. The Hayes Corporation began to comprehensively encircle Ashley's company. Ashley was just a newcomer in the industry and couldn't withstand the suppression of a long-standing family. In addition, because of the anger of being betrayed by Thomas, Ashley, in a moment of impulse, took some wrong measures, making the company, which was already struggling, even more precarious. There was no room for maneuver at all. When the bankruptcy was certain and irreversible, Ashley's body, which had just left the emergency room, couldn't take it anymore and directly vomited blood in the office, and was taken to the emergency room again. When she came out of the emergency room, the group announced bankruptcy and was in the process of liquidation. Her bank cards and cars under her name were frozen. With nowhere to go, Ashley remembered me. I used to be so good to her. She didn't cherish it. Thomas beckoned, and she, like a dog, rushed to him, leading to all of this. With nowhere to vent her anger, Ashley, unwilling to admit that it was all caused by her fickleness, chose to put everything on Thomas's shoulders, taking the initiative to go to Thomas to settle accounts. Thomas, in the situation of being cornered by Ashley, turned to find the fish in the fish pond. He could only contact some small fish who didn't know the story. What they earned couldn't maintain his previous life at all. Seeing Ashley come to find him, he thought he could go back to the way things were. As a result, Ashley came to find him because of the bankruptcy and to blame him. The two began to fight like dogs.